What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Right now I'm gonna actually go head up in the mountains in my Passat because it is by far the best place to think and talk and really just get my point across of what I want this video to be about, which is, of course, build update. I think it's number 5, and I got a lot of good stuff to talk about. I talked to a lot of intelligent people, definitely a lot smarter than me, as far as like guidance on like what parts to get, and I think I can provide some pretty good information in today's video. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna get right back with you once I find the mountains, because apparently there's a detour. I'll be back in a second. All right, I have finally made it to the mountains. This is actually the same spot that I made the that my dad is driving, or my dad drives back WX or whatever. That video did really well. I was really happy with it. Now, let's get straight on topic. You guys are probably wondering, Alex, why haven't you posted a YouTube video in a week? And honestly, I did not know it has been that long. I did not mean to do that intentionally. But the main reason why I haven't posted in a while is really because there has nothing really drastically changed with the Subaru build. I'm kind of at a standstill right now because all I'm doing is cleaning and measuring stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I had to measure, and I was really just like trying to like focus on school and like learn everything that I could before I like come out, make a video, and try to explain stuff to you if I don't really know what I'm talking about, if you guys know what I'm saying. What I've been doing the past week is measuring everything that has to do with the head. So I made sure that both of my heads were straight, first off. And I also made sure that my cams were straight. And the easiest way to do that is to take out the valve train components, which I showed you guys how to do, which I'm talking like the lifters or buckets, whatever you want to call them, the springs and the valves. Basically all I did to check for both my heads being straight was put the camshafts back into the proper places with the caps facing the right way, and then torque down the 2 caps, intake and exhaust, and then this like little like housing thing, and then spin it. And if it spins freely, then you know that your camshafts are straight and your head is straight and you are good to go. And then after that, I basically had to measure every single intake valve and exhaust valve in multiple different places along the valve stem to see if those were straight and within spec. But basically why I wasn't really showing you guys that stuff is, one, I kind of think it's like boring and it's a little bit irrelevant just because I'm getting new valves. I'm most likely getting new valve guides. Like, I'm getting all new components. So basically why you measure stuff is to see kind of how it wore, or if you're rebuilding an engine, you measure it to see if they're basically out of spec, if you need to replace them. But I already knew I was gonna replace them, so I don't know. In my mind, it wasn't that necessary to show you guys me measuring like a million little things. I think you guys just want to see the good stuff, like reassembly and getting new parts and stuff like that. Okay, now bear with me. I have a lot of things that I want to say, and I know I am not the best at explaining things like in detail and having it make full and complete sense, but I'm going to try my best and basically get all this information out there. Okay, so another main reason why I'm making this video right now is because I'm getting all new valve train components pretty soon here. And I basically want to go through the process of why I chose these parts, how I chose these parts, and what are the benefits of these parts. I think I said that well. Doing research day in and day out about engines in general, I've come to realize that everything in an engine has to work in unison to produce whatever you want to come out of it, if that makes sense. Everything should be working with each other instead of one overpowering the other. Now, what I kind of mean by that is, originally in my estimate video of me saying all these parts, I noticed that some of the parts that I said were basically the most expensive part, and I was just getting it because it was most expensive and I thought it was going to be the best. But for the application that I want and my 400 wheel horsepower that I have in mind that I want, some of those parts are probably going to be a little bit ridiculous and actually are going to not help my engine create more power, but maybe less in some aspects. Now, what I kind of mean by that is when you're building an engine, the amount of research that has to be done if you're just doing it by yourself is hours and hours and hours and hours of just stupid research, which basically that's all I've been doing day in and day out. Just a bunch of research, reading up on a bunch of forums, talking to professionals, stuff like that. Okay, so this is like take 43 on me trying to explain my life right now. I have a hard time explaining stuff about things that I'm interested in just because I feel like I know so much, but I don't know how to say it and explain it. So basically, my main point on this video is to help you guys build a car that is going to perform well and is not unbalanced. That is the word that I wanted. Building a car, you need to always have a balance. When you do one thing, you gotta make sure that the other thing is holding up to the other thing. Wow, that made no sense, or it made a lot of sense, I'm not sure. Basically, all I'm trying to say is when you add one part, most likely you're gonna have to add a supporting part. Makes sense, right? Basically, my whole point about this is I knew I was gonna build my bottom end, so I felt like it was gonna be uneven if I didn't build my top end, and I thought it was just important to do both. And basically, there's like many little balance things. There's many balance scenarios in basically every aspect of a car. Now that I'm building the head, and I'm going to do, say, for example, the valves, now I want to do the valve guides and also the valve seats. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna do one thing, you might as well do the other. I think I'm starting to make sense. So basically, what I'm going to be end up purchasing in the next few weeks is billet camshafts from GSC, their S1 series. I believe they're either a 264 or 268 duration. The reason why I'm getting those is because those are rated to about 550 horsepower, which will suit my goal of 400 horsepower very well. And I also called them and they said it was a good go for the application that I'm using them in. Now that I'm using GSC for my camshafts, I decided to go with them for the full valve train components. So I think I'm also going to get their standard size intake and exhaust valves. Now they also have a super alloy version, and I'm gonna end up talking to a tuner to see if I need that, but they're $100 more, and I don't really know if I'm going to actually need them for the application that I'm using them in. But I'm probably just gonna go with the standard ones. And I'm also going to get their valve guides, valve stem seals, and springs with titanium retainers. And the reason why I'm basically I'm replacing absolutely everything is because I'm already there, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not stupidly expensive to the point where it just doesn't make sense to do it. Everything's like either $100 or a couple $100. Like, yeah, it's definitely gonna add up, but I'm already there. I might as well replace it with some upgraded parts. It's just my opinion, and I think it just makes sense to do it. Once all those parts come in, I'm gonna go ahead and do an install video of those. I'm gonna definitely take my time, make sure everything fits well, everything's all straight, parts are all good to go. So stay tuned for that. And another point of me making this video was I'm trying to decide on a turbo. Now, there are a lot of smart people that watch my videos because I actually read the comments, and it sounds like you guys know what you're talking about and you have been there. And by been there, I basically just mean you've experienced this, or you went through the same thing that I'm going through right now with building your Subaru. And what I'm super interested in, if you're following me on Instagram, I said, I posted a photo and I said that I'm interested in a Garrett GTX 3076R, and I didn't know there's so many different variations of like the housing, the inlet side, the outlet side, all this stuff, and I didn't know that all those variations make a pretty big difference in the outcome of your engine performance, basically. And that's another like whole video that I could probably talk about, is all the variations you could do with a turbo and like the housing sizes and all freaking kinds of stuff. There's just so much to learn, and my brain is probably gonna explode from all the research that I've been doing. But tell me what you guys think. If you guys know what I'm talking about with this, the GTX 3076R, I've looked it up and people are definitely running them, but it seems like they're running a little bit higher horsepower than I'm shooting for, which isn't a bad thing. Because they also make a GTX 71, which is a little bit smaller, and I think will work a little bit better in my application for what I'm shooting for. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm sorry, I'm probably just rambling on. But these videos of me talking and kind of explaining and kind of listening to myself and watching back kind of helps me in the process of building my car, really. And really just like venting, because not a lot of people will sit down and listen to me talk about all this stuff. Believe it or not, they'll just tell me to shut up. Okay, now enough rambling on. I'm finally going to be coming out tomorrow, I think, with a Subaru video. Yes, I said an actual Subaru video with the Subaru being in it. I'm gonna freaking take the car cover off. Oh, I got a car cover, by the way. And I think I'm gonna be doing a, well, actually, I'm not gonna tell you, but has something to do with the exterior of the car. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Jordan's been wanting me to do it, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It's gonna be a DIY, and I think it's gonna make the Subaru just look a little bit better, and back to my roots of just doing freaking aesthetic stuff. So I'll give you that. It's definitely gonna be something aesthetic. It's not a performance mod. It's just gonna be pretty fun. Make the Subaru look a little different. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video for that DIY to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace out.